Hey, what is going on? My name is Norbert and welcome to the Complete JavaScript Array Methods series. In this video, we're going to learn about isArray method. As always, the code is down in the description below, so if you wish to just follow along, then just grab onto the code, copy it, and just follow along with what I'm doing. If you wish to code along, then please feel free to do so. Now, before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, then please consider subscribing to the channel because I post new content like this on a regular basis. Also, if you like my video, hit that thumbs up button and help out that YouTube algorithm and help the channel grow. And as always, if you have any kind of questions or suggestions, please consider leaving them down in the comment section below. So with this being said, let's get into the video. So let's see what the isArray method does, which determines whether an object is or is not an array. Now this function returns true if the object is an array and of course false if it is not an array. So let me just create here an array of fruits. And let's pass in here a couple of fruits. Let's say banana, then orange. Let's pass in here an apple and a mango. So we have an array of fruits. Now I'm going to create a const with verify array. Now in order to check if something is an array, we're going to type in the array object dot isArray, and we're going to pass in here the array that we wish to check. So we're going to pass in here, in our case, the array of fruits. Now in order to verify this, we're going to console log the verify array. Now if this returns true, then this up here is an array. So let's hit save, and well, it's true because we know arrays are defined within curly brackets. Actually square brackets, sorry about that. Objects are between curly brackets. Now let's also do something more fancy. For example, we're going to create a const of users. We're going to assign this to an array of objects with name Arabella, age of 20, 220. Woo! That's an old lady. And let's copy this a couple of times. Hit save. And you know what? I'm actually going to copy this in. Copy and paste. So we have an array of users, 4 users, each of them has a name and an age. Now let's see how we can get all users. Of course, we're going to use the map method for this. If you want to check out the map method, it's down in the description below. This is a complete series of array methods. Now let's first of all type in a comment, get all user ages. So we're going to create a const. I'm going to say get user ages, and we're going to go and grab onto our users, so this array dot map. We're going to use the map method, and we're going to return a user dot age, not equal but arrow function. Okay, so now if I would console log, what am I doing? Not cache. Console log the get users user ages, then I should get all of the ages from this initial array. Now we can do the same thing for names. Get all user names. We're just going to replace it with this. Instead of age, we're going to have names. We're going to return here name. Oh, sorry, not user name. I'm going to console log this, and we now also have an array of usernames. So now that we have all of this, we can now create something like const income. Let's move over income. Let's scroll up a bit and type in here income. And let's say that Arabella has $200. Now, comma, Karina has $400, so plus the $sign, and there should be a string, of course. And Norbert has $100. Norbert is the poorest of them. Okay, now let's create a const with check if array. We're going to assign this to a callback function, an arrow test array. Going to use an arrow function here. And this is going to have two conditions. The first condition is going to be if the array object dot is, so we're going to check if this is an array. And what are we going to check? We're going to check the test array that's going to pass in here is an array. Then we're going to console log and use backticks the element or elements. We're going to check all of the elements. So the elements within the passed in array, so for example test array, are a array, actually are in an array. So the elements that are going to pass in here are or are not a inner array. Now else, if they're not in an array, then we're going to console log the opposite of this. We're just going to copy this. They are not in an array. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's call upon our check if array function. And let's first of all pass in the users. Boom. Now, of course, this is going to return this as objects, all of the elements of the array, but it's also going to tell us that they are in an array. Now, let's check if the get user ages, all of the elements from this array are in an array, and they are also in an array. We can also check for the names. These are also in an array. And let's also check the incomes. Well, the incomes seems that they are not in an array because this right here is an object. Okay, so as you can see, it is pretty useful to have this condition because you can then check in your code if something that is passed in it is or is not in an array. So hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Bye bye.